Okay guys, we are live. So hey everyone, I am Harshal Jain, your mentor at Geeks for Geeks and also a teacher. So basically we are going to create a website for me and students. So this is kind of a MERN stack project first of all, okay, and not just a front end project. Okay, we are gonna change the title of this video. Obviously, it's a MERN stack project. That means basically we are gonna do the front end part also and also the back end part. Okay, so basically we are gonna make the front end in React.js and the back end in Node.js, Express.js. Database would be MongoDB. Okay, pretty simple. Now let me first of all explain you what we are going to make exactly. Okay, so this is going to be a very fun project and it's kind of a management project between teachers and students. Okay, it's kind of a Twitter for teachers, and students can read those things, notes, etc. Okay, so as you can see in my screen, I have just given this platform a name. Okay, so I've actually in India, we in Hindi we actually call teachers as Master G. Okay, so Masters G gang. Okay, so Masters gang, something like that. Okay, so yeah, I've just picked this name randomly, came in my mind. So yeah, this is the platform's name which we are naming it. Okay, this is the project's name, Masters Gang. Okay, sounds like community, okay, of gangsters, right? Masters Gang. Okay, basically it's about teachers, not gangsters, but yeah. So I think we have some comments here in the live chat. Govindra, hello sir. Sir, is DSA with Python enough to crack top companies from Geeks for Geeks as a data scientist? Yeah, I would say if you are doing the DSA part, it's not necessary to do the DSA in Java or C++. It's up to you. You must be able to build the logic. Okay, so even if you are giving competitive exam, there you would see we have an option for Python, C++, C, Java. So whatever is your preferable language, in that you can crack things. Okay, it's not necessary you must know Python only for DSA or C++ only. It's up to you. But yeah, your DSA concepts must be clear and you must be able to solve that specific problem which you get in your desired language. Okay, so if you are doing DSA in Python, that's enough to crack companies like Geeks for Geeks, or even if you want to go for higher companies, Google, Facebook, etc. you your main focus must be DSA. Okay, and the language is up to you. You can pick any other language. Okay, but yeah, if you are talking about specifically for data scientists, obviously Python is important and you can go with that. That's really great. You can also add the machine learning libraries apart from DSA. I'm not talking about DSA, but yeah, if you're learning Python, if you're good at Python, then you can learn the machine learning part also. So it's like one thing which would help you in all of things. Okay, so I think that's fine if you are going with DSA and you're using Python as a language. You can also learn a lot of things in Python along with that you can use it on DSA also. That's really great. Okay, keep it up. Okay, so now I think I'm going to explain you first of all what's exact flow which I'm going to make. Okay, so this project is actually I'm making from scratch. It's not like I have everything ready. No, I usually make the things on real time. Okay, so yeah, here you can see it's teachers form, and my main goal is to have a connection between teachers and students. Okay, you can just call it a work from home kind of school. Okay, so it's like suppose some teacher has posted some kind of notes or something, so students can read those notes. Okay, so it's very simple. Just a minute, guys. I think, guys, my audio is a little bit low. Please tell me in the live chat if everything is fine. All right, I think everything is fine. Okay, so now you can see that I have basically named my project as Masters Gang, and we are actually calling this type as Teachers Forum. Forum is kind of a platform where you see blogs or something like that. Okay, so basically instead of blogs, we are going to see the notes posted by teachers. Okay, so I'm going to explain it very easily so that you can use the exact blueprint, whatever you call it, exact diagram to make your project. Okay, this is the first thing which you must always do. According to this, you can create your own UI, then you can create your backend schemas and so on. So first of all, please visualize those things whenever you are creating any project. Okay, this is a simple small project. It's going to take 2-3 videos, but yeah, it's going to be something which you are going to use a lot of things. You're going to use a lot of these things in bigger projects. Okay, the steps which I'm following: first of all, just draw it. Okay, what you are going to make. okay, everything which you desire. Okay, if you miss out something, that's fine, but the main components of your application which you want, you can just draw it. Okay, so I'm gonna draw it today, and also we are gonna make some part of it today. Okay, so basically in our platform, okay, basically in our platform we're gonna have two things. Okay, we are gonna have two things. What things we're gonna have? So it's pretty easy. In our platform we're gonna have teachers, okay, teachers, and then guys we're gonna have what? We're gonna have students, right? There are two types of users here. Okay, so in the sign up page we're gonna ask either you're a teacher or you're a student. Okay, that's fine, perfect. Okay, so you can just add more logic. Right now I'm going to add some basic logic here. Okay, so here let's say our teacher's name is what? So I think everyone has saw the movie called X-Men. Okay, so there we had Professor X. Okay, so I'm just gonna call this guy, call this teacher as Professor X. Okay, so by the way, Professor X was, I think, kind of, you can say teacher only. He handled all the team members of the X-Men, right? So Professor X. Okay, so I've named it like that. I think I'll zoom out more. Okay, and then guys, we have the student. Okay, so I'll just spaces out a little bit more. Okay, so I'm just gonna call this student as Viraj. Okay, that's my nickname. Okay, either you can call me Harshal or Viraj. Okay, you can call me whatever you want. Okay, so Viraj. Okay, this is a student. Okay, there can be multiple students which can register to our platform. There can be multiple teachers which can register to our platform. So till now everything is fine. Now what we actually want. Hello Neha. What we actually want. We want to first of all create classrooms. Okay, virtual kind of classrooms. Okay, classroom is like a group. Okay, we are going to create a group where teacher is going to post their notes and students are going to join that classroom. They can see the notes. Okay, right now I'm not adding the chat functionality or comment functionality. I'm just keeping it simple because we have limited number of videos, but later on you can create a chat system also where students can interact, student can message the teacher and clear their doubts. There's a lot more which you can do in this project, but right now we are just creating a section, a classroom where students can just check the notes posted by teacher. Okay, this is the main purpose. Okay, so this is something which I think when I was a kid I really wanted these kind of things because I was the guy who never made notes. I just my copies were blank and I wasted a lot of my parents' money in that. I know, but I think most of the kids are like that. So yeah, I think in our childhood, if there was a platform like this where they can just get the notes in sequential order, date wise accordingly, so it would be really great. Okay, although it has some side effects also, student would become more lazier and so on. But yeah, everything has pros and cons, just like AI. Okay, so basically we right now as a teacher. Okay, as a teacher, I'm gonna talk about as a teacher. Okay, so I am a teacher. What I can do is I can create a classroom. A student cannot create a classroom, a teacher can create a classroom, right? So we're going to make this complete project in MERN stack. Right now I'm just explaining you what we are going to do. Okay, so this would help you visualize on your own also. Even if you just leave after watching this diagram, there's a lot of things which you can do on your own. Okay, it's not something which is very difficult after just understanding this diagram. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that create. Okay, so teacher has the create access. Okay, create access of what? Of classroom. Okay, so I can just call this classroom as XYZ. Okay, so teacher can create a classroom, multiple classrooms also, not only one classroom. Teacher can create multiple classrooms. Okay, right now I assume that teacher created this classroom. Professor X created this classroom. Okay, then there is a student. Okay, so there is a student. So now my goal is first of all to allow the student access this classroom. Okay, not randomly. If teacher allows you to enter this classroom, then only you can enter, right? So basically it needs teacher's approval. How can we do that? So we're going to generate OTP and send it to the teacher. Student would ask it from the teacher. Okay, physically or via call or something like that. But yeah, we have to make it proof so that not any random student can crash into your classroom and see the notes, important notes posted by the teacher. Okay, so we're gonna do this according to the OTP part. Yeah, we're going to add the OTP service also, which is going to be free. We are going to use node mailer so that you can get the OTP via mail. Okay, so can you uh, fix my image tag problem in portfolio website? Okay, you can just mention the tag which you are facing. I think there might be some syntax issue which you have written, so you can just mention that in the live chat. Or if you want to contact me, what you can do is I'll just show you my GitHub profile. Okay, so here's my GitHub profile. You can contact me via LinkedIn. Okay, you just need to search my GitHub profile, github.com/VIRA014. You can contact me via LinkedIn. Okay, so you can just message me your doubts there on LinkedIn. Okay, I'm not mentioning my Instagram right now because yeah, that's kind of personal. So you can just mention, you can just comment or message me. If you wanna comment, you can comment, or you can just message me on LinkedIn. Okay, so this is the URL. Here also I'm going to upload the source code of this project. Okay, so that's why I'm showing you the GitHub profile. Here I'm going to create the GitHub repository. In the repository section, I would also provide you the source code here. Okay, and the link would be shared. Speak loudly. I think my mic is kind of having less noise. Okay, let me just fix that for you. Thanks for mentioning, by the way. I think now my voice would be, I think now it would be louder, little bit more louder. Let me just make it more louder. Please tell me if it's fine enough. I think it's fine enough. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, I think now it's loud enough. Fine. So let's continue. My image tag was not working on portfolio website. Okay, please mention the exact doubt, exact piece of code. You can just message it on LinkedIn or later in this video's comment section or in the live section. Okay, please mention the exact doubt. How have you written that specific image tag? Okay, then I'll be able to answer it. All right, so let's come back here. You can see that, yeah, we have created classroom XYZ. So we as a student, okay, we as a student, what do we want? What do we want? So basically we can search all the classrooms. We cannot join all the classrooms, but if you're in a school, you can just see all the classrooms. You cannot go inside the classroom, right? Unless the teachers allow you. Okay, so here what I'm gonna say is you're gonna have search classroom. So student would have one right, that is one functionality, which is a student can search the classrooms. Okay, any classroom student wants. Student cannot see what's inside the classroom, but student can search any classroom. Okay, and then we're gonna have one more section here, which would be the classrooms where student has the access. Okay, so classrooms where student has the access. Okay, so it's kind of my classroom section which every student would see. Okay, and then it would list all the classrooms where student has been allowed by the teacher to access things. Okay, so what it actually contains, let me just, okay, what it actually contains. So it basically contains list of joined classroom. Okay, I think that's fine. Yes, I think now it's more kind of visible, right? So contains list of joined classroom. Fine. So this would be search classrooms where student can search any classroom, and my classroom would be containing list of all joined classrooms, like classroom XYZ might be something, classroom ABC something. There could be list of some classrooms where student has been allowed. And this section would be basically allowing student to search any classroom, but he's not joined that classroom, so he cannot access that directly. Okay, so how he can join the classroom? Suppose student is not part of classroom XYZ, but student has searched that classroom. Okay, classroom XYZ. Okay, student has simply searched for this. Okay, I'll just change the color here. So yeah, classroom XYZ. Fine. So student has simply searched for this classroom XYZ, and right now here I'll be just storing list of classrooms here which student already has access to. So suppose student has access to classroom ABC, classroom DEF, and so on. But here you can see student, this student Viraj does not have access to classroom XYZ because it's not in this list. Okay, if classroom XYZ was in this list, that means he has access. But if classroom XYZ is not in the list, then what we need to do? We need to allow the student to join the classroom. Now, how could that happen? So for that, guys, it's very simple. There are two cases. Okay, student search for classroom XYZ. If student is already a part of classroom XYZ, then he can directly access that. But right now student is not part of classroom XYZ. So what would the student do? So this would be the case. This would be the case when student has not joined classroom XYZ. Okay, not allowed. Okay, when student is not allowed to enter classroom XYZ, that means student would simply ask the teacher, okay, can I access this classroom? Okay, so what it would simply do is it would simply send OTP to professor, professor, suppose X, okay, professor X, right? OTP sent to this professor, okay. This professor would be contacted, then professor would see, okay, this is a genuine student, this is my student, so I can just allow him to get this OTP. So professor would share that OTP to the student, okay, via call or via text, whatever they have from some other medium. Okay, then what would actually happen? OTP would be checked. Okay, OTP would be checked. So what would happen? OTP would be checked. So I'm just gonna say here only, here I would say OTP is checked, right? The OTP shared by teacher to you is the correct OTP or not. If it's checked, okay, if it's checked, if it's correct, that means you are allowed to now join the classroom. So what would happen? Join class function would be called so that you can finally join the classroom. Okay, this function would be called. Once this function would be called, okay, what would happen? Classroom XYZ would be added to my classrooms list. Okay, once you have joined the classroom, it means this is the new classroom which I have added. Okay, this classroom has been added to my classroom now. Okay, once you are a member of that classroom, what you can actually do is you can simply access that classroom XYZ. Okay, now you are trying to access the classroom XYZ. You are now always the member of classroom XYZ. Later on you can add the functionality. If teacher has the access to kick out that student of the classroom, you can do that. But right now the student is member of classroom XYZ. Till now I think everything is fine. Now what happens inside a classroom? Okay, what happens inside a classroom? So what I'm gonna do is here I'm gonna create a third section. Okay, I'm gonna create a third section, and let's say it's what? Classroom. Okay, suppose our classroom name is what? XYZ. What can happen inside a classroom? So let me just write some features here which are allowed. So first thing is it can only be modified via a teacher. That means create, update, okay, create, update operations are done only by teacher. Okay, student cannot do anything here. Student can only read the content. Okay, so create, update operations are only done by the teacher in a classroom. Okay, and what else you're gonna have? So I know this explanation is taking time, but it's very important. Later on I'm going to code this for you, okay, so that you understand everything. Okay, so create, update operations are done by teacher. I hope this is understood. Read operations are done by student. Okay, later on you can add one more functionality, that is this chat functionality or comment functionality, something like that. Okay, but right now I'm just giving read operation to the student. Okay, so read operation can only be done by student and teacher. Okay, both can read the notes. Obviously teacher can also read the note. Okay, so read operation can be done. That means whatever available in the classroom, student can read that, but student can't update that or manipulate that. They can just read that. Okay, and also teacher can read that. They can create a classroom. They can also update anything inside the classroom. Okay, update anything, it's like kick out a student or something like that. So teacher can do anything. Now what else would happen in a classroom? Teacher can actually upload kind of a tweet, okay, kind of a tweet, or you can call it a blog. It's kind of notes, okay. So teacher can upload notes, okay, upload notes, comma, student can read notes date wise, okay. So that uh, in a single day there would be 4-5 notes, before that 4-5 notes. So we are not giving all hundreds of notes of data, we are just giving data in chunks. That means 5 notes, 5 notes, 5 notes, so that we don't get so much load into our server, okay. So notes would be kind of a paragraph for now, but you can also later on add the functionality to upload files like PDF or videos or images. But right now we are keeping it very simple. If we get time, then we would allow different types of media like PDF, images, and so on in the form of notes. Right now we're just uploading kind of a blog, which is plain text, okay, something like that. Later on you can add it, things like uploading media, getting media, student can read that media, teacher can upload that media, and things like that, okay. So generally this is the flow of our application, okay. I hope now you are able to understand what we are trying to make exactly, okay. So basically our application name is Masters Gang, then we have a teacher, we have student, then we have classroom, okay. So teacher is allowed, only teacher is allowed to create a classroom, okay. So teacher creates a classroom. Student can have two things: student can either search for all classrooms, or student can see the classrooms which they are already allowed, okay. That means they have joined these classrooms, okay. So suppose student search for classroom XYZ and student is not a member. So what would happen? Since student is not a member, so student cannot directly go to this classroom. Student has to first of all need to get the access. So student would simply send OTP to Professor X, okay, whose classroom it is, okay. Then OTP would be compared. Professor X would simply say, okay, your OTP is 1234. Then student would simply enter that OTP. Then student would become a member of that classroom. Once the student member becomes a member of that classroom has been added to the list, okay. Since that classroom has been added to the list, now student can simply access that classroom XYZ, okay. Student can simply access that classroom. If that student search classroom XYZ, then they would go here, or student has this my classroom section there, they click classroom XYZ, then again they would go here, okay. So classroom XYZ. Now once you are in a classroom, once you are a member of a classroom, what you actually have, so in the classroom we can create a classroom, we can update a classroom as a teacher, only as a teacher, okay. We can read things happening inside the classroom as a student and as well as a teacher also. Teacher can also see everything, student can also see everything, but student cannot update anything, okay. Then we have the third thing, which is teacher can upload notes here, student can read the notes date wise. So it's kind of a helpful. Sir, can you say again? Your voice is not was not coming at that time. I think now my voice is enough. Let me just check my voice. Just a minute, guys. A member of that classroom. I think my voice is loud enough, and I have checked it myself. Maybe your speakers are not that loud enough. Please use headphones or something. But I think my laptop is having a very poor speaker, but still my voice is coming loud enough. So I think it's fine. Okay. So yeah, thanks for telling me. I think now the issue is solved. Okay. I was simply saying that your doubt was my image tag was not working on portfolio website. So what you can do is you can simply share me that piece of code of your image tag, okay. And what's the exact error which you see? If you see any error, if you don't see any error, most probably, yeah, I'm telling about your problem only. Most probably the problem is the src is incorrect of the image, okay. Most probably I think that the location might be incorrect. You might not be able to provide the correct location of the image. That would be the main problem, okay. So please check that. And by the way, which portfolio website are you talking about? I'm still guessing that, okay. So also tell that which portfolio website are you talking about, okay. So yeah, I think this explanation is enough. You can just watch this video from starting so that you can understand this explanation. Fine. So now guys, what we're going to do is we are going to create a React.js project first. Then we are also going to make the backend also. It's not just a front end project. we're going to make the backend part also. Okay, so I hope you would be able to understand what things we need. We need a login page, sign up page, home page. Then we are going to need a search section for students or teachers. uh, Basically for the students, only students can search the all of the classrooms. Teacher can only get the classroom which they have created. Okay, so basically the classrooms would be something the students can search the classroom, so search functionality is needed and so on. But today we are going to focus on the login sign up section. Okay, very simple. So let's do that. Very easy. I am going to open React.js project. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna create a new folder here. Okay, I hope this is visible, and I'm just gonna call it Masters Gang GFG. Okay, so I'm just gonna name this folder like this, and later on, guys, I'm going to upload that project into my GitHub repository. Okay, so you'll get this project in my GitHub repository also. Okay, so basically what you're going to have is here we are going to just open this project in VS Code. Okay, so it has been opened in VS Code. I'll just go to terminal, so new terminal. Okay, and here guys, what you're gonna do is I'm just gonna zoom it a bit so that it's more visible. Okay, here I'm just gonna type a command named as npx create react app for creating a React.js project. Okay, simple JavaScript framework. Okay, basically you can use TypeScript also, but we are using simple React.js which is using JavaScript. Okay, not TypeScript. Okay, so create React app, and I'm just gonna name it as Masters Gang. Okay, so once you do this, it will create a simple React.js application. Okay, I need to fix my lighting, yeah, it's so bad right now. So definitely I'll fix it from my next video. I look like a vampire. Vampire. Okay. So you can see that now the React.js application has been initialized successfully, right? Now what we need to do, so we need to simply install one more thing. Okay, so I'll just open this specific React project in integrated terminal in my terminal, so you can see that the path of that is my React.js project. Okay, so please make sure you are installing things or doing things in the specific directories or projects. Okay, so right now we are focusing on the front end part. Okay, that means React.js part, but from the next video we are going to implement the backend part also, and also the remaining front end part. Okay, but this is something which we are going to do right now. So yeah, Masters Gang. So here first of all, guys, I am going to install React Router DOM. So you just need to type npm install React Router DOM. Okay, I hope you know this npm command works only if Node.js is installed. Okay, these are some basic things. So in the title also we are going to mention the exact technology. I think we haven't mentioned the exact technology, so we're going to mention that. Okay, don't worry. So here guys, in the src part you can see that we have app.js, right? We have the app.js, then we have the index.js. Okay, so what we're going to do is first of all clear out this css. Okay, and also guys, here I'm just gonna write RAFCE. This is a React boilerplate. You can simply get this by installing an extension known as ES7 plus. Okay, if you install this extension, you would be able to get this shortcut. So this shortcut simply creates a template kind of thing. Okay, I think now this looks fine. Okay, now let's come back, and I am going to simply initialize some files and folders here. Okay, so for my first folder would be kind of components folder. Okay, we're gonna need a components folder, so components. Okay, then what else we're gonna need? We are gonna need context also for handling login signup. So we're going to add proper login signup using context API. Okay, that means inbuilt stuff, not Redux, not recoil. We are just using plain context. Okay, then guys, what else we have? We need to have one more thing, which is the pages. Okay, it would contain our pages like login page, sign up page, home page, etc. Okay, so now I think this looks fine. Now what do we need? We need to create some pages here. So we're gonna create the pages. I'm just gonna call that home page. Okay, so I'm gonna create home page here. So HOMEPAGE dot JS. Okay, homepage dot JS, and here I'm just gonna say that RAFCE. You can see kind of my homepage looks like this. Okay, similarly guys, we're gonna have the homepage dot css. Okay, similarly guys, I'm gonna organize it more later. Okay, but right now I'm just keeping it as it is. Then similarly guys, I'm gonna have login.js. Okay, similarly guys, I'm gonna have sign sign up, actually sign up, that means register dot js. Okay, here RFCE, fine. I think like it's fine. And right now we are creating only these three pages. We are going to handle the authentication part right now. In the upcoming videos we are going to finish this project. Okay, so login.css and signup.css, fine. So these are all the pages: home page, login page, sign up page, fine. So here guys, what we need to do is in the sign up page also, here you can see I've created this. Login page also I need to write RAFCE. Okay, then guys, we're gonna need a component also. I'm just gonna call this component as my navbar component. So navbar dot js. Okay, and if you missed out something, please repeat the video. You can just repeat this video, you will be able to understand it. Okay, so you can see that we have the navbar dot js, and one more thing is I'm gonna create the navbar.css file. Don't worry guys, I'm going to provide you the source code, so you can just copy the code or you can understand the code from there. And right now I'm just writing everything in speed so that we can finish the project. Okay, we can't write a single character by character, right? So yeah, here I'm just going to write RAFCE, sorry, in navbar.js. Yeah, fine, everything is fine. Okay, it's empty right now. We're gonna write the css later. Then guys, we're gonna have the context. Okay, so here I'm just gonna call this context as what? So I'm just gonna call this context as auth context. Here we're gonna decide if the user is logged in, that means user is authenticated. Okay, so if the user is not logged in, user is not authenticated. How we are going to decide that? So it's very simple. We are just gonna first of all say RAFCE. Okay, very simple. Okay, then guys, what we're gonna need is we are going to import all these things from React. Okay, which is create context, use state, use context, use effect, all these things. Okay, then we are just going to create auth context. Okay, so here at the top, just create a context. Okay, create this context, and actually I need to call it auth provider. Okay, auth provider. Okay, and you are just going to export it differently. Okay, I'm just going to export it like this because I need to export multiple things, so I can just export it here only. So export this auth provider. Later on we are going to do things inside this auth provider, but yeah, I've named it. Okay, then we are going to simply name a custom hook. Okay, so I'm just going to call this custom hook as use auth. Okay, I'm just going to call this custom hook as use auth. Okay, I'm just creating my custom hook, and it simply just returns use context auth context. That means whatever is called inside this custom hook would be actually passed to use auth context. That's it. Okay, that means I've just created a custom hook. Okay, you if you want to skip this part, you can definitely do this, but I would say just create a custom hook so that you can make things easy. Okay, once you did this, you're gonna create the auth provider. So I'm gonna provide my whole application as children inside this. Okay, so my whole application, that means all of my tags, whatever is inside app.js, all the routes would be provided as a children to this component. Okay, so that we can decide in every page if the user is authenticated or not. Okay, so children. Okay, so here I'm just gonna say const auth, kind of it acts as a global variable. Okay, so it would simply say auth is true or false. Okay, so I'm just gonna say use state, and its value would become true and false accordingly. So I'm just gonna store the user's data also. Initially, if there is no user logged in, it's gonna be null. Okay, and loading would become true. Okay, so you can just show the loading variable as true or something like that. Okay, so here I'm just gonna say that whenever I change my page or something like that, it would check if the user is logged in or not. Okay, so that's why I'm calling use effect here. Okay, so here it would simply check if the user is logged in or not. So here I'm just gonna say const user equals, I'm gonna get the user data from where. So it's like whenever I log in, I'm gonna store that user data in my local storage. Okay, so that I don't need to get that data again and again. So I'm just gonna get that data from the local storage. Okay, whenever I log in, I'm gonna pass that data, I'm gonna set that data. Here I'm getting that data. Okay, so set would happen in login, get would happen in this page. Okay, so json.parse, and you can use other things also, but right I'm just using this context and also combination of local storage. Okay, you can store this data in context also, but I would say that automatically data would be gone, then again you need to store it in context. So you can do better thing, that is this local storage. Okay, local storage is also fine for storing small amounts of data. Don't store a huge amount, a big user data, nothing like that. You can store a small amount of data, like basic details like name, age, gender, type of the student. Rest everything you can get it from the database. Okay, but main important things must be stored in this. Okay, so that you can get extra things from the database. Okay, so that's why we are using local storage to just store minimum things which are required to recognize the user. Okay, and get that user things. Okay, so right now I'm talking about both teacher and student. Okay, it's not only about one type of user. Okay, so here I'm just saying that if user, so I'm just gonna say if user exists, you got that user from local storage. So I'm just gonna say set auth, and here you can just say user loading. Okay, and loading would become false. Okay, loading would become false. Okay, and right now you have got the user, it means you have logged in. If you are not logged in, okay, in undecided state, that means I don't know if you're logged in or not. In that case it's gonna be true. If you are logged in, it's gonna be false. If you're not logged in that case also it's gonna be false, but this time user wouldn't become null, loading is false. Okay, so if user is there, true. If user is there, then user would be set it and loading would become false. If user is not there, then also it won't show loading, it would simply make it null and it would make it false. If it's undecided, if you don't know what's there, then you're gonna show the loading circle. Okay, kind of in your mobiles you usually see a splash screen, right? Kind of that. Okay, so it's gonna say loading true, that means loading animation would be there. If user is not logged in, then you're gonna go to login page. If user is logged in, then you're gonna go to the sign up page, like that. Okay, so you can just use this loading variable whenever you want. Right, I'm just keeping it so that we don't need to add it again and again. Okay, then guys, we are going to create some kind of functions, global functions, which we are going to use. Okay, so to this function, from somewhere I'm going to provide the user data. As soon as I provide it, from which page obviously you're going to provide, so you're going to provide it in login page. Okay, so you're going to call this function in login page. When you call that function from login page and you send that data, it would simply set this user data to local storage, and here you are getting it. Pretty easy, right? Then guys, what would happen, you're simply setting auth as true. Okay, so whenever login happens, auth would be becoming true and loading would become false, right? That's it. And then similarly you are going to handle the logout. So logout is pretty easy, you're just going to remove everything from the local storage. Okay, and you're just making it null and loading as false. Very easy, right? You can see the implementation is very easy. Login signup is pretty easy. Okay, when I was a beginner I felt it very complicated, but trust me, it's very easy. Okay, so here guys, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna say auth context dot provider. Okay, you need to create a provider here. You're going to wrap everything inside this provider so that your whole application would get the values of what, would get the values of auth, login function, okay, and logout function. Your whole application can access these three things very easily. Okay, so from anywhere I can just call these things, you can get the data, you can manipulate things. Okay, and here I'm just gonna say that if auth dot loading, okay, if auth dot loading is false, then only show the data. Here you can create the else case also. Here you can create the else case also, which would be, okay, just a minute, I think children. Okay, children. Okay, yeah, I've just created one condition, but you can simply create a ternary operator. Okay, and you can simply say if loading is true, in that case you can just show some loading circle. This is kind of a loading circle, assume. Okay, if loading is false, then you're going to show other pages. Okay, but right now I'm not creating that loading circle, we're going to do that when we get time. Okay, right now you can see that it happens like that. Okay, so let's see, let's set up the routing part for now. So you can see that right now we have app.js. Okay, so here we're going to set up the routing part, which is very important. Okay, so if user is logged in, then we are going to show him the home page. If user is not logged in, we are going to show him the login or sign up page. Very easy, right? So how we can do that? So first of all, I'm going to import all of the things, that is home page, can see home page values declared but never read. Okay, so we are going to import home page, login page, sign up page, okay, from specific routes. Then we are going to import the navbar also. Okay, we are also going to import the auth provider and use auth from the context. Okay, so we have imported all of these things. Now what we are going to do is we are going to create a component called as protected route here only. Okay, so we are going to call this. Okay, so basically guys, inside this component I'm going to provide my components, login page, about page, different pages. Okay, I'm going to provide that as a children. Okay, and I'm simply going to check the value of auth in every case. Whenever page changes, I'm going to simply check the value of auth. If auth contains user, okay, if auth contains user, it means user is logged in. Auth contains user, auth.user is not null. In that case, I'm going to show all other pages. Okay, or in else case, I am gonna navigate to which page? To login page. Okay, so now I need to simply decide the routes. Okay, so right now I haven't created the login route, but yeah, I've simply given this navigation. So right now it won't work. I need to create the login route, and this navigate actually comes from React router DOM. Okay, fine. So I think this is an older method. Maybe there is a new method in React router DOM, but anyways, this method would work. Okay, so here guys, I'm simply going to say all of my application would be wrapped inside this auth provider. You can do this in the index page also, or else you can you do this in the app page also. Both of them would work. Okay, so here guys, you're just gonna create a router. Okay, so I'm just gonna create a router. Once you write auth provider, that means whatever is inside this auth provider can access what? Can access user, auth.user, can have access of what? Login, can have access of logout functions which are defined in the context. Okay, whatever you have exported from here is now allowed to be accessed by everything which is inside app.js. That means basically my complete application can access all the things. Okay, so a router, inside this router, first of all, at the top always I want to show my navigation bar, nav bar. Okay, pretty easy. Then what else I want is I want to specify my routes. Okay, so here I'm just gonna write my routes. So all of my routes would be shown. That means all of the different pages would be there, but navbar would always be there. So that's why it's outside the routes. Okay, so inside the routes, I'm gonna write my login route. Okay, then I'm also going to write sign up route. You can see here I haven't used the protected routes because in both of these two cases I don't want to check if the user is logged in or not. I know user is not logged in. If I'm in this page, I don't need to check. I want the user to log in. Okay, I want to allow the user to log in. Okay, but if I am in home page, then I need to check if the user is logged in or not, because that's my secure stuff, right? If the user isn't login or sign up page, why do I need to check? Okay, so here also you can add more checks. Okay, different conditions, different protected routes, but right now I'm gonna stay with this. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that now in this case, whenever user types slash, that means I'm talking about what? Home page, right? So I'm talking about home page. So I'm just gonna say what you need to return. So you need to simply check whenever you are trying to route to home page, you need to first of all check if it's logged in or not. If it's logged in, it would go to home page, else it would go where? It would navigate to login. Okay, but from login, you can go to sign up page, there is no issue. But if you are in home page, you are not logged in, automatically you're gonna go to login page. Okay, that's why I use this protected route. Very easy. Okay, very simple, very easy. Right, so now I hope you understood the route system. Now let's try to open this application. Let's run this application. So npm start. Yes. So guys, here you can see that right now I'm getting what? I am getting this. Okay, now here you can see does not match the corresponding name. Why? What's the issue? So you can just go to the page and here you can see that maybe I have named this page wrong. Okay, so I'm just gonna capitalize this and capitalize this and capitalize this and capitalize this. Okay, fine. I think now it's fine. So you can see that, yeah, right now you're not logged in, so you are seeing the login part. So suppose let's assume that you are logged in. How we can assume that? So for that, I can simply do one thing. Let it be. We are going to do that when we add the functionality. Right now we are not going to handle the login sign up, but right now you know that if auth.user doesn't exist, in that case I'm navigating to login. How we can check? So right now if I just try to go here, you can see even if I try to go to the home page, you can see it sends me, it throws me to the login page. Perfect, that means I'm not logged in. Perfect. So you can see that's how protected routes are working. You can see I'm not logged in, that's why it's sending me to the login page. Now let's decide the UI of the navbar first. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the navbar. Okay, I'm gonna go to the navbar, and here guys I'm just gonna check. Okay, I'm gonna do two things here. Okay, I'm gonna handle the logout functionality in the navbar. Okay, we are gonna have a logout button, and what else we're gonna have? We're gonna have to check what user is logged in so that we can show their profile and so on. And we are also going to have a search bar. Okay, so these are all the things which we are going to have. Okay, perfect. So we are going to create a very simple navbar here, and I'm also going to import these things. Okay, so I've imported these things and I've imported the CSS file also. Let's save this so you can see that's it. Now guys, I'm just gonna say we have a nav tag inside this, and let's close this. Okay, so I have created a nav tag. Inside this I'm gonna show my nav bar. Okay, so here we're gonna have two sections, left section and right section. So this is guys my left section, and similarly guys this is my right section. Perfect. Now in left section I'm gonna have first of all kind of a logo or whatever you want to show. You're going to show that clickable link in the link tag, so that it does not refresh the whole page, it just route to that specific component, so it's the link tag has that perfect. Okay, or else you can use the simple a tag, but it's gonna refresh the whole page. We are not using that. That's the functionality of plain HTML CSS. We are using React.js. That means it does not completely refreshes the thing, it just replaces the component. So to replace the component, to do whatever you want to do, that means you don't want to reload the navbar, you want to just load the home page. So for that you're just loading that home page component, so that's why I use the link tag. Okay, link tag is from React Router DOM. Okay, so now after that we're gonna have an input field also. Okay, we're gonna have an input field also. Here we can write the classroom. Okay, here we can write the classroom. And what else you can have is you can have the search icon. So for getting the icon, what you can do is you can simply type here hero icons. Okay, you can just search for hero icons. We have other methods also, but I'm using this one because it's pretty easy. So you can just search for search icon. Okay, you wanna use this icon, so this is a search icon. Okay, and I want to implement that icon in my code. So how can I do that? So for that I'm going to copy that JSX and paste it here. Fine, so now let's try to check the UI. So you can see that, yeah, I get the search icon. Pretty easy, you don't need to install anything, right? Pretty easy. Okay, so this is the left side. Okay, this is the left side as you can see. Okay, I can just close this now. And similarly guys, this is going to be the right side. So in right side you're gonna have the profile and logout, and if the user is not logged in, then we're gonna show the login button. Okay, that means basically if user is logged in, that means if auth dot user exists. Okay, if auth dot user exists, in that case you need to do something. If user is not available, if user is not logged in, then we are simply going to show the login button. Okay, we are simply going to show the login button. Okay, so I'm just going to call this login. Okay, pretty easy. Yes, but if user is already logged in, then in that case we are going to show this. Okay, what we are going to show, we are going to first of all create empty tag here, and here we are going to show one button to go to profile. Okay, here I can show kind of a profile icon. Okay, how can I do that? So for that guys, I need to simply go here and again go back to hero icons, and here I can just go to profile profile. Okay, you can just copy this icon and paste it to your code. Okay, so paste it to your code. Let's check if it works. So you can see that, okay, if user is not logged in that case it's not showing anything. Okay, let me just try to paste it here so that we can see the UI. Yeah, you can see that you would be able to see the profile icon. That means yes, if user is already logged in, then in that case I'm showing the profile icon as well as what, as well as a button to log out. Whenever I click on that button, I'm simply going to the logout function. This logout function would be simply called, and simply data would be erased, local storage data would be erased. Very easy, right? Very easy. So now you can see that this is it. So after this guys, what you need to do is you need to style this page. Okay, so I'm gonna style this page. Just give me a minute, I need to figure out one thing. Basically, I'm gonna style my navbar now first. Then later on, we're gonna style our other pages if we get time today. I think we won't get that much time, but anyways. So here is the navbar.css file, right? Here, what do we want? First of all, we want the navbar. That means navbar tag to be having items as spaced between. Okay, so what I want is I want all the items to have the space between and the some box shadow and like that. Okay, so you can see it looks like this. Okay, then guys, what we are going to do is we are going to simply say we have the navbar left. Okay, so left section would be I want the items in row and I like items to center. So you can see that this is the left section. Okay, then guys, we're gonna have the logo. So we're gonna style this logo also, and here you can see that now it would look something like this. Okay, I've just zoomed it a lot, so it would look something like this. Okay, then guys, we have the search input field. Okay, so what we can do is we are gonna say that search input field, it's gonna have some kind of width and border and outline none. So you can see that the search input field looks like this. Okay, then we are simply going to say that the placeholder value, placeholder color would be little bit light so that we can simply see this. Okay, so you can see that the placeholder color is little bit lighter. Okay, what else you're gonna have here? You're gonna have, if you focus on that, you're gonna give it kind of a border color. Now I'm gonna target the search icon. Okay, so if I type size 6, that means search icon. I think now it would be styled, so you can see it's styled. Basically the class of that is size 6, that's why it's styled like that. Okay, so you just need to write size 6. From the UI you can just check. Okay, from the navbar you can just check, you would find size 6. Okay, so I think you can simply say size 6. Okay, so you can just style it like that, very easy. Okay, then after that we're gonna talk about the right section. So again I want things in center, then we have the profile icon. Okay, so again I want things in center but in row. So I want the profile icon, so I've styled the profile icon like that. Okay, so basically you can see profile icon, but inside that we have the svg also. So basically inside that we have the svg also, so we have given it width and height. I think it's not taking the profile icon class. Let me just check why it's not taking the profile icon class. Okay. Leave it. We're not going to pass it inside the link tag. We're gonna create function for that. Okay, then we're just gonna say that nav right we okay. Actually, I'm not logged in. That's why I'm not able to see that. Okay, I'm sorry. But yeah, if I'm logged in, then I'm able to see that. But right now I'm not logged in. So I'm just gonna say in that case, this is like that. So you can see a profile icon is like this. If I am logged in that case, you're gonna see this. Okay, so you have the profile icon, then we have the logout button. Okay, so let's go to the logout. Okay, let's style the logout button. Okay, so I'm just gonna say if I style the logout button, so I've simply given some basic styles. If I hover on that, it's gonna change the color and pretty basic styles. Similarly guys, I'm gonna have the login button, again some basic styles. Okay, so you can see that logout button looks like this, and this is the navbar, simple navigation bar, not very complicated, not very simple. Yeah, it's something like cool. Okay, so here guys, in default, I'm gonna simply say there is no margin. Okay, so M0, P0. Okay, and I'm gonna remove everything from here, index.css also. Okay, M0, P0, and box sizing as border box, so that not maximum, more than maximum width is not taken on padding margin. Okay, so you can see M0 P0, and here guys I did one mistake, which is I need to import dot slash app dot css. Okay, I think it looks fine. Yeah, you can see that now the default margin and padding is gone. Okay, so now if I come back to app.css, what else you want? You want to say that default font family is, I want Apple for now, or you can import an external font family. Okay, so kind of it looks like this. Okay, kind of it looks like this. Okay, so you can see it looks perfect. Okay, it looks perfect. And now guys, what we need is, I need to switch this back. That means if there is user, if user is logged in, that case you're gonna show the profile and logout icon. If user is not logged in, then you're gonna see the login button. So if user is not logged in, you can see you are able to see the login button. Perfect, looks fine. Okay, now what else we're gonna do is, I think I need to go to the CSS file. Okay, and I want to style this logo again. It doesn't look that great. Okay, so I can just say that font weight would be 300. Yeah, kind of better. Okay, kind of better, right? So you can see that this is the nav bar. Now guys, we're going to talk about the login page. So login page is very easy. Okay, login page is very easy, sign in page is very easy. So I'm going to do it really fast so that we can end this session now. Okay, so in login page, what we are going to ask, so we are going to ask the email and password from the user. Okay, and then guys, I'm gonna import a few things. Okay, so what else we're gonna have? Once the login happens, I'm gonna save that data to my context. So for that, I'm calling the login function from my context, okay, which we have created. Then guys, we're gonna have the navigation also, so that we can navigate to other pages like sign up or other pages, okay, or home page. Okay, now guys, we are going to create the handle submit function also inside this. Whenever login happens, okay, we're going to do a lot of things here, but right now I'm just making it just exist. Okay, we're going to add a lot of things here, so I'm just simply saying whenever submit happens, first of all, don't clean the form, and then you, whatever user data you have, simply add it. Okay, so right now, later on, we're going to handle that. So handle backend logic. Okay, backend API logic here. Okay, so we're going to call the backend API here, and then we can simply handle the login. Okay, and we are going to add the backend later on. Okay, and once the login happened, okay, so right now I'm just passing temporary data here. Once the login happened, you are simply going to suppose pass the email here as user data. I'm just using temporary things here. I'm not allowing the user to log in, obviously, but this is some temporary data which I'm passing, and the role would be suppose student. Okay, this is I'm passing as user data. So suppose this is my user data. Okay, and I'm simply saying that login has happened. This role would be simply gotten from the database. We're going to handle all of the things here. Later on you'll get the data. Right now I'm just passing temporary data. Okay, just try to understand this. Okay, so I'm now, once I've logged in, I would simply navigate to home page. Okay, that would happen. So let's style this page. So I'm simply going to say that we have this login page. Okay, we have this login page. Inside this, first of all, I'm gonna have the heading of login. Okay, then guys, we're gonna have the form, which would simply call handle submit whenever I try to submit that form. Okay, inside that form, we are simply going to have one thing which is email, and another thing which is password. So simply you can see that email field is taken, okay, and password field is taken, and set it to the state. Okay, then once I click on the submit button, its type is submit, so it would submit the form, and handle submit function would be called. Then guys, at the end we have one link which would allow me to go to sign up page. Okay, so don't have an account, go to sign up page. Okay, or forgot password link also can be created later, but right now I'm not adding the forgot password functionality. That's something extra. Okay, so this sign up, link would take me to the sign up page. So let's check this. So you can see if I click on this, it would take me to the sign up page. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Now similarly guys, I'm going to complete the sign up UI also, then we're going to talk about the stylings. Okay, so how we can do that? So first of all, I'm going to import everything I need in the sign up page. Okay, very easy. Now guys, while sign up, what I'm going to ask? So basically I'm going to ask for name, email, password, and the OTP sent via email to that specific student or teacher. Okay, so they would receive that in their individual emails. Okay, there is no restriction here, anyone can receive it in their own emails. Okay, so OTP would be sent to their emails via a free service known as node mailer. Okay, then guys, we're gonna have the login functionality. Okay, actually whenever sign up happens, why do we need to send the user to login page? I would just directly log in the user. Okay, if sign up happened, I would directly log in the user. Okay, so that's what is the meaning. So login functionality would be automatically called. So doesn't need, user doesn't need to log in after signing up. Okay, automatically login would happen. That's the benefit. Then again, I'm going to call this navigate function for just handling the navigate part. Then we're gonna have the handle submit function. This handle submit function would simply say, first of all, don't clean anything, and just like login, we're gonna have all these things. Okay, so name, email, role, whatever user data you want to set, you can simply set it here. Okay, so I would just keep it like this so that there is same data passed. Okay, so email and role, obviously we're going to remove that in future later, but right now I'm just passing temporary whatever email you are using to sign up. We're not doing any authentication here for now. We're going to do that in the next video when we add the backend. Okay, so right now I'm just going to say handle backend API here. Okay, that's it. And after that, you're going to get that data from the backend and you're going to set it here. You're going to call the login function and you're going to navigate to the home page. Very easy. Okay, similarly guys, you're going to have one function to send OTP. So this function would simply call node mailer from my backend and going to send the OTP. Okay, so again I'm going to create a backend API which would allow me to send OTP. Pretty easy. Okay, then what do we have? We simply have this sign up page. So I'm just going to create a division for sign up page. Okay, inside this, first of all, you're gonna have this sign up heading, then you have this form. Okay, and you need to close this form. Okay, then guys, we simply have the input field. Okay, it would simply ask for the name. Then guys, simply we have email and OTP container, so it's kind of a row. This row, you can see this is kind of a row, email OTP container. This row would be containing email input field on the left side and a button to send OTP on the right side. So whatever email you type on that email, you're gonna send the OTP. So once OTP is sent, you're gonna ask the user to enter OTP. Okay, so enter OTP, and whatever value the user has entered, it's gonna be passed to the input field. Okay, then guys, we're gonna ask for the password which user wants to set, right? And then one more thing, which is option, what kind of role user wants. So here I'm going to create select option tag. Very easy, select, and whatever is the value which I have passed on default, the default value is student. So by default student would be shown in this select option. Okay, so by default student would be shown, but in the drop down we can either become teacher or student. Okay, whatever value I pass is going to be changed to my role hook. Okay, role use state hook. Okay, right, you can see this is the hook. Okay, so either there can be teacher, there can be student. Okay, so I have created a drop down where you can select either a teacher or either a student. At the end you have a sign up function. Okay, then after that guys, you have one more link to go to the login page. Okay, so login page, so let's check the UI again. So you can see you're in the login page, sign up page, login page, sign up page, login page, sign up page. Pretty easy, pretty similar. Okay, then guys, we're gonna go to this login page, then we're going to add the CSS file. All those are CSS is pretty same. Okay, it's not something very different, but yeah, since I'm adding it, so I'm simply saying that login page is going to take the full space, everything would be in center, and then the heading tag would be styled. So you would simply see that the login page is styled like this, everything is in center, and then there is this everything is in center and heading is styled. Okay, then guys, what else we're gonna have? We're gonna have this form. So I want the form items to be in column. Okay, So I've simply said it like this, and it's gonna have some background. You can see it looks like this. Okay, then I'm simply saying email and password field input fields are gonna be styled. So I'm gonna give some basic style to those fields. Email and password input fields are styled here. Okay, actually, I'm just gonna say, since it's inside the login page, so I'm gonna style it like this. Okay, that would be better. Okay, similarly guys, I'm gonna say if I am talking about the placeholder of email input field or the password placeholder, I'm gonna give it this color. Then if I focus on that, I don't want any border outline. Okay, then if I talk about button type submit, I'm gonna give it some styles. Okay, right, button type submit, then I'm going to give it some styles. Then guys, I'm going to talk about the sign up link. Okay, and p tag inside the sign up link and a tag inside the sign up link. So it's very easy. Sign up link is a div tag, it contains a p tag. Okay, it has this color, and the a tag has this color, and then if I hover on that, the color changes. Okay, so it's kind of a style which I have given, and I'm gonna say that this is only specific to the login page. Okay, not any other page, so that does not manipulates the css of any other page. Okay, that's why it's helpful. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So let's see. So you can see right now it kind of looks like this and looks cool. Okay, that's it. Now guys, similarly I'm going to talk about the sign up page. Okay, so in sign up page also we're going to have the similar css. So I'm going to simply pass a similar css. Okay, so here you can see that this is the sign up page. Okay, pretty easy. If I hover on this, you can see student or teacher. If I select teacher, now I became a teacher, or else you are a student. Okay, student teacher, student teacher. Okay, so you can see this kind of UI which I have made. You can make it more better, but yeah, this is pretty simple UI which is very useful. Okay, so if I go to login here, and suppose if I enter hj123 at the rate gmail.com, and suppose hj123 is my password. If I click on login, you can see once I log in, I am in home page. Now if I refresh any number of times, you can see it does not take me to the login page. Okay, but once I log out, you can see now I'm in the login page. Now again, if I visit the home page, you can see it's throwing me to the login page. Okay, that's mean the authentication part has been set up, although we need to add the backend also, but right now local storage is helping us doing these things, but we need to get and save data in the backend so that we can decide this email is correct, password is correct, and so on. So you're going to do that in the backend part, right? So guys, I hope you understood this part till now. I'm going to upload the source code right now. So for that, I'm creating a repository. Let me just call it what, masters masters backend. Okay, masters front end, I'm sorry, masters gang front end. Okay, that means React.js. Okay, I'm going to upload the front end part today, and similarly tomorrow also we're going to create the back end part, and we're going to complete everything, okay, which we talked about, and then we can end the series in 2-3 videos. Okay, so this first video was kind of an introduction and then some basic authentication setup. Okay, next video we are going to do a lot of stuff in a faster pace. Okay, so let me just upload the source code. So I'll just okay, so I'm just going to upload the source code now. I'm just going to say git add dot, then git commit m, and I'll just say day 1. Okay, and then git push. Okay, I think you were not able to see the repository. So this is the repository which I have created. Let me just refresh this. So this is the repository. I'm going to share this in the live chat also. Or else what you can do is you can simply go to my GitHub profile. You just need to type github.com/viraj014. You can just go to this GitHub profile. Okay, this is the GitHub profile. Here you can contact me on LinkedIn also or on Instagram also. In the repository, you can simply see master gang frontend. Okay, masters gang frontend. This would contain today's source code. Okay, and tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we are going to update that. Okay, so I'll also share this in the live chat. And also, guys, if we get time, we are also going to host that for free on Node, on basically there is a service named as Vercel. Okay, so we're going to host that for free on Vercel, front end and back end both. Okay, so till then you can see it's here. Right, so guys, I hope you enjoyed this session. It's over now. Tomorrow we are going to focus on the complete backend part. We're going to build the complete backend, and then we're going to make the front end also, and we're going to merge everything. Okay, so that's it for today. I will see you in the next one. Till then, have a good day. Bye bye.